okay, so here's what happened. I just decided to finally get my finances together, a little less coffee. I was like, I'm going to budget a little bit, got some bills, got a newer car, got some college loans, all that fun stuff. I'm like, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to stick to a budget. I'm going to be super responsible. It's time. I've just been enjoying myself. I've been, every day I go for coffee and sometimes there's breakfast and I've been treating friends and family and, I'm very giving. And I thought, you know what, I got a vacation coming up in January and another one in April. I'm going to budget myself. It's, mid-year. I just want to make sure I'm good for 6 months, make sure the holidays don't stress me out or anything like that. So I was like, perfect. I'm going to do this. I was so proud of myself. I created a budget in an Excel spreadsheet and thought, okay, here's how much I can spend a week. I'm just going to do that for the end of the year. And holy cow, I am going to be awesome by the end of the year. And then my computer crashed. Our podcast's computer crashed last week. I was just writing my book. I'm rewriting my hysterectomy book because there's not enough emotion in it. A couple friends and a family member that had read it for me said, it definitely sounds like you, but it's very medical. Like it's very medical. And I know what you went through and I feel like the emotion's not there. So I'm rewriting it. So I'm right in the middle of writing it and the screen went blank and there was a whole bunch of lines and I went, oh shoot. So I thought maybe it just got a little too hot or something. I took it downstairs in the basement because it's always a little cooler. I plugged it in just in case it was a battery thing. It's gone. It crashed. So I had to go to the Apple store and see if they could fix it. And it would have been about $600 or $700 for a new screen, but the computer's 4.5 years old, which I don't feel is very old. They say that they live from 5 to 7 years, whatever, right? So it's 4.5 years old. We got it specifically for the Clopen effect. And then now for Anxiety Makes Me Poop podcast, which is amazing. And I do all my writing on that computer. And they said it's $600 for a new screen, but it has already had its last update and it doesn't have the new Apple Intel or, whatever. They were explaining it. They were amazing. They were explaining it to me. And they said, it's probably better just to get a new computer. And I was like, how much is it? And so to get the exact computer with the whatever memory that all that fun tech stuff was $2,500. And I went, awesome. There went my budget. Why does this shit always happen to me? And that's exactly what I thought to myself. I never have good luck. If I tell everyone, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have luck at all. And I used to mean it and feel that. I just felt like everything happened to me. We do these podcasts to make people laugh. With the Clopen effect, we make people laugh. We tell our stories. We get together. We have so much fun. We have some memberships out there. We have had some great support. We can't quit our jobs yet, though. So in other words, we're on a budget. We're basically doing it for free and supporting small businesses and, just we're doing that on the Clopen. And then on Anxiety, we're supporting you. We're just trying to make people laugh. We also suffer from anxiety and we would just want to share that you're not alone. Let's, laugh and heal together. And again, we don't have too many memberships and not a lot of support on the Anxiety because it's a brand new podcast. So where do you find $2,500, right? Now I have to budget even tighter. And I just kept thinking to myself, wow, this frickin' sucks. This sucks. But then I started to remember that it's just a computer. It's just a quick setback. It didn't happen to me. Computers crash, right? And I need it for the podcasts. This beautiful little project that I love that 4.5 years ago, I was in the car and I called Cass and another bestie and I said, I've been listening to all these podcasts. I feel like we have something here. And that was it. We bought the equipment and we did it. And we're in it. We're in it for the long haul. We're here hanging out. So it's just one of those things that I had to think about it. It's like, it's not personal. It's just life. And yeah, I'm super mad. I was super upset over the weekend that I had to go to the Apple store and get a new computer because I literally just started budgeting and I'm going to be better and I have all these bills, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, that's enough. We're going to do this kind of stuff. And then that happens. So of course, I'm almost positive 99.9% of you can relate. You're like, you have a plan and then it goes to shit, right? So of course, I kind of spiraled a little bit. I cursed technology, timing, all that fun stuff. But mostly I blame myself because I was like, did I cause it? Did I deserve it? Did I drop it? Did I sit it outside too long? It was 80 degrees out. I was in the shade. Did I do something to it? Did I, whatever. I backed up almost everything. So that was good. And I went to go look up my Apple Care because it's an Apple. And I was like, oh, you know what? I paid $300 to cover it forever. No, it expired in December. It's July. I was like, of course. So that was another thing. I was like, cool, no coverage. Okay, so if I had just tried a little more responsibility, maybe none of this would have happened, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, anyways, I got a new computer. My husband was there. He was full support. We price matched. They gave us the price match. It was amazing. Everyone at the Apple store was great, even though I was just absolutely heartbroken and really didn't want to spend the money. I did it. Okay. Here's the thing. My computer didn't crash because I suck at what I do or because I'm terrible or I'm, whatever. Okay. It's like the universe looked at my budget and said, cute. Let's just wreck that real quick for her. Okay. It happens. It crashed because machines break, life breaks, things go wrong. Medically, technically, technology, not because of us, not because we're broken, but because that's what life does sometimes. It doesn't care that you're on a budget or that you're trying to get your life together. Life does not care. Stuff does not care around you. They don't care. There's no emotion there. My computer was like, it didn't hear me tell people I was going to be on a budget. It went, you know what? Let's just add to that. No. The truth is we personalize everything, especially when we have anxiety or when we're anxious or just everyday things. It's kind of like if something goes wrong, we immediately think, it's me. I'm the problem. This always happens to me. If I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have luck at all. It's not personal, I promise you. It's not cosmic punishment. It's not the universe. It's just a crappy moment. It sucks. But it doesn't mean we're doomed or we're failing or we're bad at life. So try to remember that. Like if you're just having an absolutely rotten day, you're not doomed. It's just one day. You're not failing and you're not bad at life. Okay, so while I'm ranting, let's talk about how we tie our happiness to our goals too. Because now, as an example, this feels like a setback to me. Now I have to work even harder. Now I have to try even harder. So now I feel like I'm in that middle, like unhappy ground, because I'm not at the goal yet. But it's hard to look back at how far we've come, So I'll feel good once the podcast is big enough, or I'll feel good once I get that new role at my job, or I'll feel good once feel better at being a parent, or I'll feel good once I really get my budget under control, whatever. I'll feel good when, I'm medically cleared, all of that. Or, once the money starts coming in, or once I feel better. Oh, I've been going through that too. 8 months after post-hysterectomy surgery, 8 months it's been, and I finally feel like myself again. That was a long 8 months. And I kept saying, is this the normal? I kept saying that. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to be constantly exhausted? Am I going to constantly have a scar that hurts? Am I going to, I was doing the same thing. And all of a sudden, just in the last couple of weeks, I'm like, oh, I'm back, right? And it just hits. So you're in that in between. What about now? Look at how far you've come. We may not be where we want to be yet, but that doesn't mean we haven't done something amazing already. Okay, so we're talking about computers crashing and, oh, why me and bad luck. Okay, it's just a crappy moment. You're not bad at life. You're not failing. You're not doomed. It's one day. You're going to work through it because you are strong. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're extra strong because you want to make things better and you want to understand all this. Now let's go to the middle part of when we haven't hit our goal yet, when we haven't gotten that promotion yet, when we haven't done whatever it is that we're doing. That middle part, that part between I started and I made it, is still part of the story. It's still worth something. My computer crashing just brought a nice episode in, and you know that Cass and I are going to talk about it tomorrow night on Clopen too. So it brought a week of how we can talk about it. We don't need to punish ourselves because we're still building. Remember that. You can be proud of showing up. Be proud of figuring things out. Be proud of hitting your record even when it still feels messy. Your goal, even if it still feels messy. Where have you come so far? Think about it a couple years ago. And you wanted to start something. You thought, yep, I'm going to start it. Weight loss, business, new job, whatever. Whether you're loving or hating it, you still have a journey. You're in that middle. You're still showing up. You're still figuring it out. Remember that. Tell yourself, I'm going through it. I'm going through it, and I'm going to keep going through it until I'm ready, until the goals hit. And you know what? Maybe you keep setting the bar higher and higher. So maybe you have to hit a small goal to keep going up to that next goal. That's like me. I was just telling my husband that, I have runnings in my blood. I love to run. And as soon as I decide that I'm going to go run a race, like I look at it online, and the first thing I do is see which distance is the longest that they're offering. Because in my mind, I think, well, I'm going to do the longest distance. For example, if I know, just because I've been healing for 8 months, I know that I can only run a half marathon. And my friend who I run with every Friday said, hey, let's do a destination race. Absolutely, I'm in. But I noticed that mentally, the first thing I did was when she sent me a link to look it up, I went and looked at which race was the furthest that they were offering. But I can only do a half marathon right now. I had surgery in October. It's taken me 8 months to get my energy back and to have my body feel like it's all reset. I'm not going to go run a marathon this year, maybe next year, because I don't want to push myself. But at first I was like, oh, I could totally run that marathon at that race. But then I remembered how far I've come. Last year, I couldn't run hardly anything. I couldn't even get through 5 miles without having pain or pressure or just feeling exhausted. Now I run no problem because of where I've come. So I didn't get upset. I got upset for a second, like, oh man, I should totally be running that marathon in the fall. No, I'm running a half marathon with a friend. I'm going to be very good at it. I'm going to know I'm going to be able to finish that. And then maybe the marathon comes next year. It's okay being in the middle of what you're doing, of your goal. So I remembered that and I thought, yes, I am going to go have a great time in the fall. We're going to go do a destination half marathon. And then maybe next year, when my body's even better, when it's even more, when it's trained and when it's ready and it's even healed more, I'll go run the marathon next year. So yeah, things go wrong. Maybe you lose a file at work. You break a laptop like I did. You have to have a little setback because of surgery. Maybe it's something medical, or you spend money you didn't plan to spend. Your car breaks down. Gosh, those are the worst. See, I know nothing about cars. So when anything happens to my car, I'm like, oh, here we go. Just here, take my credit card, So maybe you're in the middle of your goal right now. Maybe you're not where you want to be yet. Maybe something just completely happened. It threw you off. Maybe you're tired, frustrated, feeling like life just keeps knocking you off the track. Listen, being in the middle, having something happen doesn't mean you are personally failing. It means you're moving. It means you're showing up. It means you're doing the hard, unseen work that matters most. You've got this. Seriously, you've got this. I had to tell myself that this weekend. I've got this. Now you're just going to have to budget a little tighter. It's no big deal because you know what? I'm going to keep going because the goal's still ahead of me. So I have to keep going forward. That goal that you're working toward, it's still there. You didn't miss it. You're not behind. You're on your way. You're in the middle. You're on your way. Take a deep breath. Remember how far you've come and keep going. You're not starting over because of a small setback. You're continuing, and that's what matters most. Stay positive when you can. Be proud, even when it's messy. Be proud of yourself and remind yourself that middle is still movement, and movement is progress. Talk to you next time.